Then lastly, let's talk about the ultimate question. Samurai and ninja, who is stronger? My answer would be... 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. I've been making quite a lot of what is the difference between series, but I realized that I missed out on the all-time classic. What is the difference between samurai and ninja? There are already quite a lot of videos on this topic, but through my comments and Instagram, many people told me they would love to hear my version of their differences. I'm so grateful for the requests, so here it goes. There are some Japanese people too, who don't really understand the difference between samurai and ninja. But trust me, they are very different. So today, as a katana sword trainee in Kyoto, I will explain the 3 main differences that I think are most important between samurai and ninja. At the end of this video, I would also like to talk about my opinions on the classic question. Which is stronger, samurai or ninja? Even if you get confused somewhere during the story, that's okay. I will wrap everything up again at the end of the video in today's conclusion. それでは本日も参りましょう。So then, let's get to today's main topic right away. These are the 3 main differences between samurai and ninja. 1. Their history and roles in society. 2. Their skills. 3. Their beliefs. 1. Their history and roles in society. Let's briefly take a look at each history to understand how different their roles were in society. First, the samurai. This noun derived from the verb sabrao, which means to serve or to watch over someone. So the origin of the samurai were people who served the imperial family and the aristocrats in the Heian era. For the aristocrats, the more land they had meant that they had more power. In order to protect their important land, they needed samurai to guard it. So the aristocrats started to give more and more power to the samurai, to the point they were so powerful that they started to rule Japan themselves. This was the beginning of the shogunate, the samurai government. The samurai were the ruling class in Japan for more than 600 years, until westernization started in the 19th century. Next, let's talk about the ninja's history. No one knows for sure about the true origins of ninja. However, there are some historical records of the existence of ninja from the beginning of the Muromachi era. There were groups of people called villains who were against manorialism at that time. This system was widening the gap between the rich and poor. Because ninja were originally people in weak positions and were not able to fight the warriors protecting the lands face to face, they developed their own tactics of fighting, such as surprise attacks and arson. Coming into the Sengoku era, where warlords of each region fought each other, they would hire these villains as mercenaries for their unique skill sets. Night attacks, secretly sneaking in and setting fires, blending into enemy groups, and stealing information and spreading lies, and robbing goods were their jobs. This is when the villains became ninja we imagine today. Once the Sengoku era ended and the Edo era began, the ninja were officially hired by the new shogunate as guards of castles and residents of noblemen, and spies to watch over other samurai clans. However, because the ninjas' main jobs were to work as spies, their skills obviously must not be known to others. This is why there's hardly any concrete information about the ninja left. Please understand that this story is just one of the theories that I've studied. So, to wrap things up, Samurai were the servants and warriors of aristocrats or the shogunate, while the ninja were spies and assassins hired by the samurai and the government. Or, in other words, samurai are super cool and ninja are awesome. 2. Their skills. Because their roles in society were completely different, the skills they trained were very different too. The samurai mainly trained in bujutsu, martial arts, and skills related to war. For example, kenjutsu, swordsmanship, soujutsu, spear art, kyujutsu, archery, bajutsu, horsemanship, and jujutsu. They also studied literature and military science too. On the other hand, ninja trained in the famous ninjutsu. Ninjutsu is the general term for techniques related to acting theft, spying, intelligence activities, while deceiving the eyes of others. For example, the skills to walk without making any noise, or to pass through narrow spaces. The techniques of martial arts like shurikenjutsu and kenjutsu in order to survive or assassinate someone. And even communication skills to blend in to enemy territory. If I start talking more about ninjutsu, I think this video will be an hour long, so I'll stop here. So, as a summary, samurai skills were meant for warriors to fight in war and battle, while the ninja skills were mainly for spies to carry out their missions. 3. Their beliefs. If you are a fan of samurai culture, I believe you have heard of Bushido, the moral code of the samurai before. Bushido explains that honor and pride were very important for the samurai. Harakiri, the ritual suicide of cutting your stomach, embodies how one's honor was more important than his life. It meant that the samurai would rather die with dignity than to live with shame. Since the origins of their history, when there were servants of the aristocrats in the Heian era, samurai had their pride as the upper class of society for more than 1,000 years. In the Edo period, the people of Japan were officially divided into 4 classes by the government to make it easier to control everyone and keep them in their place. Although the samurai were in the top class in this era too, they were not allowed to act heroically and were taught to live as everyone's role model. This was the government's plan to keep the attitudes of the highest ranks of men low in order to avoid any trouble. A strong, smart, and humble man without greed was the image of a samurai. Every samurai family was desperate to protect this image by using their time and money to live a noble life. On the other hand, the beliefs of the ninja were completely different. They were spies, so there is no meaning for them to die with honor because no one would recognize you. The top priority of the ninja was not to protect his pride or to live as someone's role model, but to complete the mission he is given no matter what happened. So, to make long stories short, samurai's beliefs were to live with honor as a noble warrior, while the ninja's beliefs were to successfully complete the mission they are given whatsoever as professionals. Then lastly, let's talk about the ultimate question. Samurai and ninja, who is stronger? My answer would be, let your imaginations decide. If you search in Japanese about this topic, it's about 50-50 whether a samurai would win or a ninja would win. Some say that samurai were the professionals of martial arts, and it's obvious that the ninja who learned the skills to be spies aren't meant to fight face to face in the first place. Or some say that ninja will win because they use projectiles such as shuriken and fukiya blowguns, and they will be able to move faster than the samurai because they were dressed lighter. But of course, these are just people's speculation, and not evidence-based. I believe that it's impossible to answer this question because of these 3 reasons. 1. The definition of samurai and ninja both differ according to the era. 2. It would depend on the battle environment. 3. It would depend on that specific samurai or ninja. 1. The definition of samurai and ninja both differ according to the era. First of all, the definition of samurai and ninja differ according to the era. The definition of samurai refers to servants of the aristocrats, then became the ruling class from the shogunate era. And lastly, the top class in society in the Edo era. The ninja were just thought of as bad people in the beginning, and then their skills were finally completed in the Sengoku era as spies. And in the Edo era, every ninja had different skills according to their jobs. So depending on which era of samurai and ninja we're talking about, the story would be completely different. 2. It would depend on the battle environment. The situation would be completely different if the battle environment was during daytime on the middle of the streets, or if it was midnight inside a castle. It would probably be difficult for a ninja to win a samurai fighting face to face on open land. And it would be difficult for a samurai to win if they let a ninja do a sneak attack. 3. It would depend on that specific samurai or ninja. This is a very obvious thing to say, but you can't have a judo black belt and a karate beginner fight each other and say that judo is stronger, right? Although every samurai would train in martial arts as their basic education, of course, not every samurai was talented. Ninja too trained in martial arts, but depending on their profession, their main jobs were not to fight, but to quietly sneak into enemy territory and get out with the needed information without anyone noticing you. So it would really be up to that specific samurai and ninja fighting. Due to these reasons, I can say that it's impossible to say which is stronger. But I do think it's fun, just imagine it. My favorite manga is Gintama, so I'll cheer for samurai. I'm sorry, Naruto. Now lastly, today's conclusion. There are 3 main differences between samurai and ninja. 1. Their history and roles in society. Samurai were born in the Heian era as servants and warriors of the aristocrats. They eventually became the ruling class of Japan for more than 600 years. There is historical evidence that shows the existence of ninja from the Muromachi era as villains fighting against manorialism. Their fighting style of sneak attacks and arson was cherished by the warlords of the Sengoku era, and the ninja's skills as spies were completed. 2. Their skills. Samurai trained and learned the skills of martial arts needed to fight in battle and war as warriors. Ninja trained the skills of secretly sneaking into enemy territory and martial arts as spies and assassins. 3. Their beliefs. Samurai had pride as the upper class, and they also were taught to live honorably as role models for the Japanese people. They would rather die with dignity than to live with shame. The ninja's top priority was to survive and complete the mission as spies whatsoever. There was no meaning to them to die with honor like the samurai. I believe that it's impossible to answer the question, samurai and ninja, who is stronger, due to these 3 reasons. 1. The definition of samurai and ninja both differ according to the era. 2. It would depend on the battle environment. 3. It would depend on that specific samurai or ninja. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video helped you to deepen your understandings towards samurai and ninja culture, please hit the like button to let me know. And my goal is to achieve 100,000 subscribers by January 2022, so your help would mean a lot. In this channel, you can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. どうもありがとうございました。Everyone, once again, thank you very much for watching this video and welcome to the Omake Talk. So today, I usually talk about something useful at this Omake Talk, at least I try to, yes. But today I'm going to be talking about something completely useless for everyone because I want to talk about my love towards Gintama, the manga and anime. I mentioned it a little bit in today's video. It's actually my top favorite anime and manga. And there's so many reasons why I love it so much, but I was trying to think of the top reason, and it would definitely be that the stories, for example, if once Ginsan fights an enemy, after the battle ends and Ginsan wins, after all the hard battles, they kind of focus on the stories of the villain side, if that makes sense. Why this person ended up to become a villain or a bad guy. And that's the part I really love the most, because in real life too, when two people fight, or if it could be a real war as well, or just a small, fight, just anything's fine between like couples or friends or anything, small fights to big fights, there's never like one side is never like completely correct, or there's not one side's always like absolute or anything, right? It's always two justices that fight each other. And Gintama really shows this through their stories. And I always, there's a lot of scenes that makes you cry, in Gintama too, right? But I always cry where, after all the hard battles, they explain to you, why this person ended up to be, this bad guy or doing these, terrible things to other people. Like Jirocho, I really liked his stories of, he ended up being a good guy, but I loved Jirocho, and I loved Yao, which is, the king of the Yato, I loved his story. Like, he was a totally bad guy, killing a lot of people and such, but, he had his struggles too. And, I love it how Gintama, puts the spotlights on these people, and their backgrounds. And they don't let them die or lose as just bad people and villains. And I guess that's like the best part I love about Gintama. But still, of course, even though they have their justices too, many of the things that they do can't be tolerated, of course. That's why Ginsan has to fight with them. But anyways, yeah, I just love Gintama so much. And I'm really sad that it ended, recently, but I enjoyed the newest movie. Oh yeah, about the movie, can you see it in your country too, if you can let me know about it? The newest movie that was out the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I think it's not at the theaters anymore, but it was a great movie. So if you haven't watched it yet, I hope you can check it out. And if you like Gintama, let me know in the comments or give me a direct message through Instagram. We will definitely be best friends. Alright. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much, and goodbye.